So yeah, we try to reflect what reality is on the show. Of course, it's TV, so you have to embellish a little bit and make it entertaining. And so you kind of have these dating woes that the guys are going through, relationship issues, and drama.
Well, first off, I got to give you flowers and kudos for transitioning from that former NFL player space, because I know that's tough when you're ready to just put it down, right? But my question for you, even when I think about it, before I even ask my question, I mean, I can think Jim Brown, Carl Weathers, maybe Terry Crews, or somebody that looks like us that are in this space and being successful at it. There's others that have tried but are consistent. We've seen you in other projects. That being said, do you see yourself, in a sense, being a pioneer for black men who are in that realm, transitioning over and showing that they can do more beyond the athlete moniker? And how much of that goes into what you do when you design your character for the show?
Well, thank you for the compliment, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's very hard to transition, man. Especially when you played for a long time and you played for major markets. I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a solid career, and I have a brother that played that looks just like me, so we think he's me. So I can't escape being a football player sometimes. But when I retired and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pursue this. The first thing I did was change my stage name to Thomas Q. Jones and add the middle initial, because I individually need to believe that I'm a different person too. And initially, I was a little bit kind of like, is this corny? Is this, because you see a lot of people do that. You see so many people, Prince went by Prince and then he was just a symbol. And, and if you're not in this space, you don't really understand why people do that. But I completely understood it at that point, because I was so tired of just being a black football player. Because I never was just a black football player. I grew up in a household where football was secondary. Being an A and B student, being a good person, all those things were first. I went to the University of Virginia with my girl Claudine here. She goes, wahoo. Went to UVA and I graduated in 3 years and I played football. But I didn't see myself as just a football player. I was like, that's just something that I love and something that I'm able to do well. But I realized after 12 years in the NFL, no, you're a black football player for the rest of your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm more than that, and we are more than that. We're more than black athletes that can just run and jump. We're more than black rappers that can just rap and sing. But that's fine, but we can do so many more things, and unfortunately, the other talented black people and black men don't get as much of an opportunity to be at the light shine on them as athletes, and so we get kind of put in this box. So, once I met DG, that was when I really felt like, okay, not just as an actor playing typical roles. Being Mary Jane, I was a football player. Straight out of Compton, I was menacing. My character's name was Large Man. I didn't have a real name. I was playing a large man in Straight out of Compton. But with Johnson, I was able to play a father, a black man that looks like me, works out, dark skin, tattoos. Yeah, and he has a technology company. He's ambitious in tech, and he wants to run his own company. He owns his own company. It's not, one of the stereotypical situations. So I think not only am I trying my best to be a pioneer for other athletes to realize they can do other things outside of football, but also to recognize that they are other things outside of football. And I think that's worked, because there's so many guys that DM me and reach out to me and they see what I'm doing and they're like, how? And I help every one of them as much as I can. Because it's important. We're not monolithic. Sports and entertainment are an incredible sector for us to be part of. And we pretty much, whatever we focus on, we somehow end up being at the top of it. That's just the reality. So I just advocate for expanding to other entities outside of just the stereotypical ones. And Johnson is also in the entertainment industry, but the brand of it, the idea of it, is to showcase black men that are not what you expect them to be.
Let's not discount how hard this guy works. That's the part that he didn't mention. He works harder than anybody I've ever met. I thought I worked hard. He works